Hola mis amores! I really hope that you guys are having a fantastic day today, full of love. Just wanted to pop by to talk about what is abuse. Because I find that my opinion is that this is a very dysfunctional and abusive society that promotes and accepts abuse. It's everywhere. We're being abused daily by our government, by our religious organizations, and I'm really sorry if I offend anybody, but I do know that some religions promote practices that are very abusive and diminish to women. That is the truth. Sorry. There's a lot of abuse going on there in the name of God. And I will make a video about that because I can go on and on and on about that. There's abuse, animal abuse, senior abuse, child abuse, financial abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse. Yes, there's abuse all around us. Not just the physical abuse, which is that you don't have to be bruised up and call an ambulance, 911, to feel or think yourself as an abusive woman. What is abuse? Well, I think abuse can be defined as anything, any action, any behavior that is going to harm you, that's harmful for you, offensive, anything that's going to diminish you and make you feel inferior. I really feel that anyone that makes you feel inferior, ashamed, embarrassed, is abusing you. Because when I was living in abuse, most of my life I lived in abuse. Every man I dated abused me. I didn't even know because it was common for me. That was love for me. Being put down, being ignored, struggling, the arguments, the fighting, the controlled, always being controlled. So I thought that was love. I learned that growing up because I grew up in a household where my parents fight every day, all day. It was very toxic. It was very dark energy in my home. My parents were, when you fight like that, imagine what kind of parents we had, right? So there you go. So well, I grew up and that was my role model, and I took it from there. So my relationships were pretty much very toxic and negative and hurtful, abusive. I didn't know. It had to go to the point that I ended up living with a very angry alcoholic for 2 years that almost killed me, to understand that, wow, I am being abused. Yeah, Eureka. That's when it really hit me. That's, it was to the point that even I saved myself or I was going to bye-bye. So I was lucky because I was able to walk away and break the pattern. But like me, not a lot of women think of themselves as being abused because you don't know what abuse is. So let's say you're not being hit, your husband doesn't call you names, or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, whatever, whoever is, they're not calling your name, they're not slamming doors, they're not hitting you, spanking you, not spanking you, they're not pulling your hair, slapping you, kicking you, nothing like that, nothing physical. But if you work and you have to give them your paycheck, if you have to justify every penny you spend, you're being financially abused. If you are not allowed to have money, you are financially abused. That's very disrespectful for a woman. And I actually, right now, know a couple of women like that. They're professional, successful women, and they have to justify everything they spend to their husband. They have to ask their husbands for money. That's living in abuse. You lose yourself in that. You're not happy. When they talk about it, they feel so frustrated. They don't understand why. It's like a child-parent relationship. That's not equal. That's making you feel inferior. You are being abused. If you're being criticized all the time for your opinions, for your feelings, for the things you like, for what you want to do, for your beliefs, criticizing, putting you down, making you feel ashamed, you're being abused. It's emotional abuse. Criticizing is really bad. It damages you. It peels slowly but surely your self-esteem, your self-worth. If you are dating, or even if you are living with somebody or married, it happens to anyone, it doesn't matter. If you're hitting it off and you say, enough is enough, I don't want to go any farther, not tonight, or I'm not in the mood, or I don't feel like it, or just no, and you're not hurt, and you basically have to push the person off, fight it off yourself, or do things you do not feel like doing or not want to do. Sexually, you are being sexually abused. Being touched when you just don't want to be touched. It's your body. You have the right to say no. You're being abused. When you're being manipulated or make you feel ashamed when you don't want to do something, that is abuse. When you do things that you just feel uncomfortable, but you just have to do them to please them because they make you feel like you don't love me. You have to show me that you love me. That's being abusive, manipulating you. That's financial, that's sexual. When you're being negligent of your emotions, when your emotions don't count. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I can't do that. No, you're not tired. That is being abused. Anything that makes you feel inferior, anything that makes you feel powerless, you're living in abuse. And you can be abused for more than one person in your life. You can be abused by co-workers, you can be abused by teachers, you can be abused by your parents, your friends, your sisters, anyone. It's just so common these days. I have worked with teachers who abuse children. I worked with this teacher who used to put her mask on and scare the kids, and she thought it was funny. I believe that was abuse. She was abusing the children emotionally. They were screaming, they were scared. It was not funny, it was not a joke. Those children were being abused in the daycare. It happens, I've seen it. Throw a book, throw a toy at a child because the child's not listening. When they shake the kid around because the children's not listening, that's abuse. Children doesn't know they're being abused. It's just there, everywhere, every day. That's why we have to spread the word. What is abuse? It's just more than a slap. And I want to say something else. Emotional abuse, it's the worst. It's the worst because there's no physical evidence. You can't say, look what they did to me. No, it's the scars inside, the pain that you carry that sometimes doesn't go away. The name calling, when somebody's calling you a name, when you're calling your children names, even if you're not hitting them, if you're calling them, you're a bad kid, you're bad, you should be ashamed of yourself, what you're doing, how dare you pee your pants, your friend so and so is better than you, they do their homework, you're a brat, you don't listen, you're good for nothing. You are abusing your child. You have no idea how. You're destroying the self-esteem and the self-worth. And you know how many adults have grown in environments like that? So we grow up to be adults who are used to being abused and we don't know it. That's why I say it's a disease that can kill us all, because how do you know what is the statistics of emotional abuse? And there's symptoms. There's symptoms. If you have been emotional abused, for sure you're going to be depressed. You're going to be sad. You're going to be having serious self-esteem problems. You're not going to believe in yourself. And chances are you're going to end up in abusive relationships and end up being physical abuse and the whole 9 yards like me. But let me tell you girls that there's life after abuse. It is possible, and I'm living proof. I am going to put some links down here. So hopefully I can help you, giving you some resources, definitions of what abuse is, how many kinds of abuse are there, so you can search when you have time, resources, phone numbers, anything I can do for you to help you. Please drop me a line if you have any questions. If there's anything I can do for you, get you any kind of resources, contact somebody. Just, if you feel lonely, just drop me a line, because I have been there. I have worn those shoes, and I know how painful they are. They can kill you. It's sad, it's dark, it's shameful, but I'm here because I've been there and I survived it. So just share this video with as many people as you can. Anyone who you suspect is living in abuse. Well, I think I've talked enough, and I hope that this can help somebody. And take care. Say no to abuse in your life. Love you very much. Los quiero mucho. Hasta la vista. Ciao, ciao.